Hey YouTube, Makarov 9 here again. Let's take a look at one of my military surplus handguns. I've not had this out of the safe in a while. It used to be one of my favorite little range guns, just for accuracy and just the fun of shooting it. This is the Hungarian PA-63. It is chambered in the 9x18mm Makarov, the same round that the Chinese, Bulgarian, German, Russian Makarovs shoot, same round that the CZ82 shoots, and I'll explain the differences in those pistols and this one here in just a second. I've got all those, and I did a review on the Makarov a little while back, and I'll do a review on the CZ82 later. But this is a blowback design, fixed barrel. It's a chrome lined barrel, which is real nice. It is an incredibly accurate little pistol, and it is a double action, single action that does have a decocker, and I'll show you how that works. This little pistol has been safety checked. There's nothing in the mag well, and nothing in the magazine. Of course, magazine is out of the pistol. There's nothing in the chamber. I'll show you how this decocker works. Now, you lower this lever here, drops the hammer without contacting the firing pin. You push the lever back up, and what it does is actuates your trigger to the forward position. So if you were to carry this as a concealed carry firearm, what you would do is, if you ever had to deploy that, your first shot would be a long double action trigger pull, and subsequent shots with your hammer back would be like this, with a shorter reset on your trigger and a single action. Like I said, the recoil is a little bit snappy on this little gun, but once you get used to that, you know it, then you can really get rounds on target really easily with this little gun. Now, when FEG Arms Company came out with this, they came out with this design really back in the 40s. They wanted to mimic the Walther PPK design, and they sort of did that. PPK looks a little different than this, but I can see where they were going with it. And by the late 50s, they were producing a lot of these PA-63s, and of course in the 50s, the Makarovs are real popular with military police and civilian police. So not only the handgun, but the round itself was very popular because it had replaced the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev round that the Tokarevs and CZ52s used during World War II. They wanted a smaller handgun to accommodate civilian police as well as military police. And they came out with a 32 ACP version of this, and then the 380 in this as well. FEG Arms Company did. But I think the most popular was probably the 9x18mm Makarov. And we all know that that round is a whole lot cheaper to buy than your 32 and your 380. So most people would prefer to buy it in the 9x18mm. It's a real solid little gun. It is the aluminum frame, so it is lightweight, but not too lightweight. It still gives you a little bit of heft. You've got something in your hand, not a little plastic gun. It points real nice and straight. The sights are low profile, rudimentary military type sights, fixed, but they work. It's not a target gun, but it does its job. It puts rounds on target real nice. The magazine holds 7 rounds plus 1 in the pipe, and they do come standard with these little finger groove things here. Kind of put your pinky on. Magazines are hard to find for these little guns, and if you can find them, they are expensive. Although this little pistol is not expensive. They imported these years ago, and of course importation has dried up a lot on milsurp stuff, as we know in the last few years. You used to be able to buy this little gun for $100, $125. You'd be lucky to find one of these today for less than $2.50, $2.75, and if you found one for that, you might grab it if you're wanting one of these. I used to have one that was in a little bit better condition than this, although this is pretty nice. But I used to have one, and I shot it a whole lot and loved it, and for some reason got rid of it and picked this one up about 3 months ago, and I'm not going to let this one go. For concealed carry, it's a nice piece. I would advise getting the Wolf spring kit for your hammer, because this double action trigger pull is about 16 pounds, something like that. I believe it's got a 16-pound hammer spring on it. They do make a 9-pound reduced hammer spring for it, and that would make for a real nice double action trigger pull if you were to carry this with a decocker on in a holster to use as your CCW. But I know of a couple of people that use these for their CCW, and it would work really well. You take a look at it a little bit closer. It is a blued finish. Like I said, this one isn't as good a condition as the one I used to have, but it's a very interesting little gun, and it points really nicely right in the hand. You see that? There's not a whole lot hanging off down here, even before the magazine with the little pinky extensions in there. It's a very comfortable gun to shoot. I'll show you in another video how to take this down. It's very simple, and it's very, very similar to the Makarov takedown and cleaning. But I will cover that in another review, and I'll have a range review of this little piece that I think you'll want to see, and I think you'll want to observe the recoil of this snappy little pistol. Just a short little review of the Hungarian PA-63. If you're interested or have ever heard of these, I would advise just going ahead and getting it if you can find one. Great little piece. I wouldn't advise this to a new shooter because of the snappy recoil. The small feel of the frame and the natural point that it has is comfortable for a new shooter, but the recoil would not be. So you might find that if you put this in a new shooter's hand, they may not go back to the range with you next time again. So start them off on something a little bit lighter recoil than this little 9x18. There it is, the Hungarian PA-63. Be looking for later videos in the future, and we'll get to the range with this one too. Thank you, YouTube. I'll catch you later.